tears, fake tears, fake tears, fake tears, fake tears, fake tears. AOC's a liar. AOC's a liar. AOC's a liar. AOC's a liar.
Latinos are finally turning on AOC, all as the woke left has begun to crack. We're going to see the latest public embarrassment for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and we're going to see precisely how her fall is symbolic of what's happening to the Democratic Party as a whole. The ultra-MAGA activist Drew Hernandez led a host of Latinos in their public protest against AOC, who was speaking, or shall we say trying to speak, at the University of California, Irvine.
Serious.
AOC, what about the migrants? What about the migrants, AOC? What about the little kids being raped at the southern border? What about the migrants, AOC? What about the little girls getting raped? AOC, you're a disgrace. Talk about the little girls. Talk about the rape trees, AOC. What about the rape trees? AOC, what about the open border? Denounce Joe Biden. Denounce Joe Biden. Denounce the human smuggler in chief. Bring up the little kids being raped at the southern border, AOC. AOC, what about the southern border? Warmonger! Warmonger! Hey, AOC, it's your party. It's your party that has the open border. The blood is on your hands, AOC. The blood is on your hands, AOC. The blood is on your hands, AOC. Where's your photo op now? Where are the tears now for the little girls being raped?
Tears, fake tears, fake tears, fake tears, fake tears, fake tears. AOC's a liar. AOC's a liar. AOC's a liar. AOC's a liar. Denounce Joe Biden. Denounce Joe Biden. Denounce Joe Biden.
AOC's a liar. AOC's a liar. These are Latinos, gang. These are Latinos shutting her down. And you know what AOC has to say to that, don't you?
All right, listen, okay, listen.
I have to yell at you guys.
Listen,
Listen.
Listen.
Okay, what?
Like everything they do.
Listen, Linda. Yeah, AOC is clearly demonstrating that she has little tolerance for pushback against her incessant and obviously very infantile wokeness. Now, what I found so fascinating here, there are a couple of things. First and foremost, you'll notice how shocked AOC must have been here, given where she was. She was at the University of California, Irvine, one of the most radical left-wing spaces in the nation. And she was speaking at a Get Out the Vote rally. Now, let that hit you. This is Orange County, okay? They voted for Biden over Trump by 10 points. She's not in Clark County, Nevada. She's not in Maricopa County, Arizona, both of which are in danger of turning red in just a couple of weeks. She's in a solid, comfortably blue district, spewing out her woke talking points in a space that's supposed to be filled with her most adoring and faithful fans. That's what the left-wing activist disguised as journalists focused on in their coverage of this. AOC is coming to galvanize young voters, not mentioning that these voters would have come out anyway, even if she never showed up, and that this is a thoroughly blue county that shows no signs of turning around in the next couple of weeks. But then even in the midst of the safest space imaginable for left-wing nuts like AOC, all of a sudden, she's confronted. And she's confronted with Latinos who want to know why she isn't securing the southern border, why she isn't stopping the free flow of fentanyl from coming across the border, why she isn't speaking out against all the human smuggling at the border, why aren't you denouncing the Biden administration's push for war with Russia, and on and on and on. And all of a sudden, we all see the fabrication. Those security guards could do nothing to hide the fact that Latinos are turning their backs on AOC. But as we're about to see, it's not just AOC. They're turning their backs on the Democratic Party as a whole. But first, make sure to click on that link below and head on over to my special website for the Ready Project food supply. No one makes preparing for an emergency more ridiculously easy and affordable than our good friends over at the Ready Project Food Supply. Their food kits last up to 25 years in storage, and they include breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Every meal's at least 2,000 calories. And if you act right now, you're going to save 25% off a full 4-week emergency food supply when you click on that link below to my special website. So whatever you do, don't wait. Click on that link and start building your emergency food supply today. Now, what we're seeing with the colossal fall of AOC is indicative of the larger fall that's happening to the Democratic Party as a whole. Now, I know we're all looking at something, we're hoping for something catastrophic or cataclysmic here, right? Like the total obliteration of the Democratic Party. But parties don't die that way, not even in Europe, where so-called third parties, brand new parties, distinct from the mainline center-left and center-right, they're popping up all the time, okay? It takes a while for the mainline globalist parties to get sidelined into political oblivion, political irrelevance. But it does happen gradually, often imperceptibly. The old post-World War II liberal parties on both the center-left and center-right in Europe are receding onto the ash heap of history. In France, the once dominant socialist party on the left and the Republicans on the right, they've fallen into literally single-digit support. Their constituents are the boomer leftovers from World War II era. Same with Italy. Their center-left and center-right has imploded. We can go outside of Europe. Same things happen in India, Israel. Parties that once got first and second place in the vote tallies are now lucky if they even break double digits. So it takes a while. And I think that's exactly what's happening here with the Democrats. Their key constituencies, Latinos, the white working class, independent women, women without college degrees, black men, they're more and more defecting from the Democrats and becoming Republicans, and the party as a whole is beginning to wane. And of course, the question is why? What's going on here? Well, big picture, it's largely because the Republicans, and we're talking here, of course, the ultra mega Republicans, right? Obviously not the pathetic Mitch McConnell or Mitt Romney leadership. The rank and file Republican Party, ultra mega, the de facto Patriot Party. They've hit what the British political analyst Matthew Goodwin calls the sweet spot in politics today. They've hit the sweet spot. And the political sweet spot today that we're seeing actually all over the world, it's happening time and time again, is that it appears to be far easier for the right to pivot left on economics than it is for the left to pivot right on identity and culture. And I think that's exactly what we just saw with the Latino-led backlash against AOC. It's easier for the right to pivot left on economics and thus bring in all kinds of voters who want a proactive government securing programs and safety nets for the middle class than it is for the left to pivot right on identity and culture. And thus, the left ends up alienating the most culturally conservative constituency in the nation, which is the Latino voter. Latinos are disproportionately pro-life, they're pro-Christian, they're pro-family, they're pro-traditional values, and they find the kind of cultural wokeness pushed by AOC to be totally foreign to a Latino vision of reality. And all the Democrats do in response to this is talk about more equity and Republican racism and bigotry. And we're finding that such knee-jerk reactions are ringing increasingly hollow for Latinos. So this is why the New York Times is panicking over the rise of what they're calling the, quote, far-right Latina. This is, of course, a response to Mara Flores' stunning win a few months back. She ran as a Christian nationalist conservative in an area in Texas that has the single largest Latino population in the nation. And what do these so-called far-right Latinas actually believe, according to the New York Times? Well, what do you know? They believe in faith, family, and freedom. They believe in traditionalist conceptions of marriage and gender and the sanctity of life in the womb. They believe in secure borders. They believe in the rule of law and thus the blessings of law and order in their communities. They want drug and gang infestations eradicated from their neighborhoods. In other words, they basically want everything that the ultra-MAGA Republican stands for. So it was only a matter of time before one of the single most important factions of the Democratic Party defected. And that is exactly what we're seeing. So the Latino rejection of AOC turns out to be just a microcosm of a much larger rejection of the incurably woke Democratic Party, a defection, along with others, that does promise to crack the party and send it eventually, but ultimately, inevitably, into political oblivion. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button, and you'll definitely want to check out my latest video on Liz Cheney finally losing it as her plan to divide the GOP fails and fails miserably. You're going to love it, so make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.